morning. Welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Friday, February 14th, 2014. It's Valentine's Day. If you're in the northeastern United States, you might not be getting your roses. More on that later. Meanwhile, there was a major eruption of a volcano in Indonesia last night. It shrouded a large portion of the country's most densely populated island today and closed down 3 international airports. This would be Mount Kelud, K-E-L-U-D, which had a very substantial explosion that was heard 125 miles away. It sent millions of cubic meters of dust and rocks up into the atmosphere. Approximately 150,000 people have been evacuated. The country's second largest city, Surabaya, is completely coated in ash. Fortunately, it seems as if nobody was killed. According to authorities, they managed to issue predictions for evacuations about 90 minutes before the actual eruption. Kelud is one of about 130 active volcanoes in Indonesia. Well, it now seems as if Pranak Masojeda, the CEO of Hiscox, is saying that the flooding in the United Kingdom so far could produce claims of about £1 billion. That's 1.67 billion US. This is if the heavy rain persists into March. The key right now is that the ground is completely saturated, so any additional rain that comes, and rain does come in England, we know that, is simply going to end up as floodwater. Masojeda indicated that with all the flooding that's happened since the end of January, plus the forecast for this weekend's bad weather, we are now well on our way towards the £1 billion record. However, £1 billion is not necessarily a huge problem for the insurance industry. In 2007, it was a £3 billion loss. Analysts say that the flood losses will be manageable by UK insurers, and we do not expect the current level of losses to have a significant impact on insurers' earnings. Well, we started out by saying about the storm in the Northeast. The storm in the Northeast went through the New York metro area yesterday, dumping about 1.5 feet of snow in some areas, and it come up the coast. And for example, in the state of Virginia, over a 3-hour period, there were more than 1.4 crashes actually per minute on the state's interstate highway system. Virginia State Police and local police were busy responding to people who were out driving in the middle of a blizzard. Right now, many people are back at work, although many people are working from home. More snow is forecast this evening, although the temperature is expected sometime next week to warm up into the 50s. So people are slightly optimistic that it might be over. Meanwhile, American International Group boosted its quarterly dividend by 25%, up to 12.5 cents a share. They reported fourth quarter profit that beat analysts' expectations, but then they also announced that they're going to be laying about 3% of their workforce off. They recorded a $265 million pre-tax severance cost in the fourth quarter regarding layoffs. Robert Benmosh, the CEO, has been working to simplify AIG and reduce expenses. And in fact, one of the things he's managed to do is he has cut the number of approvals needed for decisions to no more than 5. The head of the State Department of Environmental Protection in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Chris Abruzzo, was on scene yesterday at a Chevron gas well out in Greene County. It's on the Marcellus Shale Plateau. It's been burning since Tuesday. One worker is presumed dead. They haven't been able to find the person yet. Abruzzo saw the well pad from about 500 yards away. He says he could see methane gas shooting out of the wellhead horizontally and reigniting every few seconds with a booming sound. Chevron, which owns the well, has called in wild well control from Houston. Abruzzo says that they're making progress, although the whole area has been inundated with snow, causing difficulties in reaching the site. Well, if you're Stephen J. Catlin, this might cause you rubbing your head, wondering why, in fact, you do have a publicly traded company. His company has been downgraded by an analyst from Westhouse Security from neutral to sell, saying that Catlin missed a trick by not returning capital to shareholders following its full year 2013 results. His full year 2013 results were pretty good. It showed a $432 million pre-tax profit with a return on equity of 12.8%. However, the expectation was that they were going to return some capital back to the shareholders. They did not, and as a result, they're deemed less attractive. If Mr. Catlin had anything to say, he would say that, in fact, they are keeping the money in reserve so they'll be able to underwrite more when the time comes. There was another fire in a Tesla automobile. This is now the 5th fire in 5 months. This fire occurred on February 1st in Toronto, Canada. Tesla is saying that at this point they do not know the precise cause, but they don't think it's at all connected to the lithium-ion battery, which has been the cause, supposedly, of the previous 4 fires. And here's an interesting development. Only a handful of countries rival Iran for having slowest internet speeds in the world. Simple online tasks sometimes take hours. One web designer in Tehran said the way they block bandwidth here is like a virtual dam, but this is beginning to change. President Hassan Rouhani, the president of Iran, said the work has already begun. We're going to speed it up, and by the grace of God, it will continue. By the end of the month, March, next month, the government says average bandwidth will double, even though that step would leave Iran ranked about 135th in the world, up from its current 170th spot. In many ways, this is a surprising turnaround for Iran, which for many years kept a tight control over the internet, whether private or state-owned. The country has kept speeds in check while filtering access to sites that it deems to be politically dangerous. With a population of 76 million people, Iran is by far the biggest group of internet users in the Middle East. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Monday is a holiday in the U.S., a federal holiday. It's President's Day, so we will not be broadcasting. We will see you on Tuesday.